Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills. A little bit controversial there with some of the neutral site games.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, Cincinnati is going to go to Buffalo. This was a really interesting one. Two extremely high-powered offenses, about as high-powered as you can get. And I really like Cincinnati in this one. I think their defense is much better than Buffalo's. Buffalo's is extremely injured. And to me, Buffalo kind of plays boom or bust on defense. And so I like Cincinnati in this one. I think they're gonna take it. So
yeah. So while I agree with you, maybe the Bengals defense might be a little bit better overall. Where the Bills are going to shine, though, is all because of the Bengals' offensive line injuries. Collins is out for the season. Don't know if Kappa is going to be coming back. And then their left tackle, Jonah Williams, left with a dislocated knee. He has not practiced yet this year. This is as of recording this week, as of Wednesday night. So, yeah, it's Wednesday, isn't it? I get all my days mixed up.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah. So, and as we saw last year, the Bengals played with fire for the entire postseason, going up again with a horrible offensive line. And I think the Bills are going to be able to exploit that. Yes, they don't have Von Miller, but they still have Gregory Rousseau and company that can, and that's just their front four. That Matt Milano, their linebacker, is a great. And they will just keep sending pressure, make Joe Burrow have to get rid of the ball very quickly. Then their safety, Jordan Poyer, and then who's their other guy?
Thinking of Micah Hyde.
Yeah,
he's on IR. Jordan Poyer is questionable, and their best pass rushing defensive tackle, Jordan Phillips, is also questionable.
They have a corner though, don't they?
Tre'Davious White.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he hasn't been nearly as good this year.
Okay, well, but still, I think the combination of the two, Jordan Poyer is one of the better safeties in the league. Questionable also on a Wednesday doesn't mean a lot. Trevor Lawrence was questionable today because he just had limited practice. So not playing on Wednesday on playoff week is totally different than being on questionable. And so for me, and then that's where they're going to exploit Joe Burrow and the defense and that offense. I think they're going to be able to stop the run and Joe Mixon, and they're going to be able to get out of Joe Burrow, forcing them to get rid of the ball quickly. Offensively, I think this is kind of the moment that Josh Allen has been waiting for. I think he is consistently not waiting for. I guess he's waiting for the Super Bowl, but this is the start of that of this journey, beating Joe Burrow, then beating Patrick Mahomes, and then beating either Jalen Hurts or Brock Purdy. If that's a spoiler alert on who I think is going to be playing in the NFC Championship. Stefon Diggs has been a little bit quieter as of late, but overall, though, he still has a great year. And if Gabe Davis doesn't have a game, then it's Dawson Knox. If Dawson Knox doesn't have a game, then it's Isaiah McKenzie. They've started to find a little bit of something in the running game a little bit with the combination of James Cook, Devin Singletary as well. And then they have the other running back.
I do not know.
They had a third running back there, I thought.
As far as I know, it's those two really splitting carries.
I thought there was one more, but
you mean Josh Allen?
Well, I guess Josh Allen. Then yeah. So I think that even with Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard as well from the defensive front, I think that they will be able to exploit them. I think they will be able to not be affected by them as much. And so I think it's going to be an overall great game. I think in a game as close as this, I think I kind of lean towards the home team. It was Nyheim Hines.
Nyheim Hines. Yeah. He had 8 carries for -3 yards in the regular season.
Stud. Absolute stud. I think it's going to be a great game. That's my case kind of for the Bills winning this game. And a lot of it honestly has to do, I think, with the trenches. I think defensively, their offensive line, I think, can match Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard. defensively, though, I wonder if they're going to be able to contain some of the pass rush with Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, I don't think Buffalo is that good in the trenches. They struggled to get a pass rush on Mac Jones in Week 18, and that was a poor offensive line all season. And without Von Miller, they really lack a lot of quarterback pressure ability. And so maybe they'll be able to stop the run. And I do like Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano, the linebackers they have in the middle. But for me, I just don't see that being an issue. They're not going up against the Cowboys or even the Patriots, for that matter, who had 2 double-digit sack guys this year. They're not doing that. For me, I think that outside of Tre'Davious White, they have no one in the secondary. So who's going to cover T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd or Jamar Chase when Tre'Davious White is covering the other? It's like, and then Hayden Hurst is coming on. This defense is playing well for the Bengals. I think Cincinnati was well on its way to win that game in the regular season. Granted, both teams moved the ball pretty easily in the first quarter. But I don't know. I'm going with Cincinnati. I just think they have the better offense, or not. They have the equal offense and better defense. So
so the biggest thing for me is it's going to be, can Josh Allen and company protect the ball? And so because when they go up against his other great receiving core, I'm thinking of the Miami game in the regular season with Tua in them. They were in general kind of able to somewhat contain, or overall able to contain that receiving duo of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle did have the long breakaway touchdown. But outside of that, though, I think it took a really long time for Tyreek Hill to kind of come into play. You know, I say that. I think he also had a long touchdown in that game as well. But I think that was off like a burner play, though. Well, I guess most of his touchdowns are burner plays. But and that's a fair point, too, because it almost seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it almost seems like T. Higgins has had close to a better season than Jamar Chase. I feel like T. Higgins hasn't lost a step with Jamar Chase on the other side. It's almost like he's improved statistically because of it. Because he was a 1,000-yard receiver before Jamar Chase got there.
I don't know if he was only there for a year.
He was 1,000 yards before, because I remember that was the first year where we did it when they drafted Jamar Chase, thinking like, oh, wow, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are both 1,000-yard receivers. We don't know if they need Jamar Chase. And then, of course, they get him, and then we were wrong about that.
So for me, the big difference between the Bengals and the Dolphins,
Cincinnati, quarterback play and offensive line play at the time.
Well, yeah. Miami's always trying to hit the deep stuff, right? They're hitting deep shots or screens. That intermediate stuff, Tua's not any good at. The Bengals will burn you at all levels. You have to play the whole field. So I think that plays into Buffalo's defense, because they want to run that deep zone blitz, right? And so for me, I think that Cincinnati poses a much bigger threat. So T. Higgins had 1,000 yards this year, and he had let me see. He had 1,000 yards last year as well. He had 900 his rookie year. So,
the year before they drafted Jamar Chase?
Yeah.
And so that was Joe Burrow's rookie year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my thing. Is like, to me, there's a big difference. And Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are great weapons.
But yeah,
But
now I'm
yeah,
just using that comparison how the secondary kind of covered. But obviously,
yeah,
there's more that goes into that.
yeah,
Now I can say, and it's like I also agree with you. My pick is also Cincinnati. I have
yeah,
Cincinnati money line on this game. I for a lot of the similar reasons as well. The yes, Buffalo hasn't been playing nearly as well, but if they're going to win, it's going to be how I laid it out. They're going to be out to get
yeah,
after Joe Burrow, sack him a bunch. Because one of the things that concerns me for the Bengals is that this offensive line is injured and obviously whoever's next up is nowhere near as good or productive. And so
yeah.
I think it's going to be fun. It's like one of those. It's like I'm rooting for Buffalo to win this game because it seems like, especially in the second half of the year, it's either been self-inflicted wounds or just a lot of adversity that they've had to go through
Yeah.
as a team. And so I kind of want them to win it for the city as well.
Yeah.
I think that'd be very nice.
I think Buffalo. I'm picking Buffalo to lose this game, and I think they do it. I think they beat themselves. This team, especially over the last half of the season, has been extremely reckless with the football. Fumbles in every single game, interceptions in just about every single game. They're just so explosive that they can make up for it. But when you're facing a team like Cincinnati that can match that explosiveness, that doesn't get you back in the game. So I think this is going to be the game of the weekend, and I'm super excited to see these two teams go at it.